Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, changing out this meter here in Middletown, New Jersey. There was some damage to the meter. I believe it's some rust. We're gonna go take a look at it. I looked at this job 2 months ago, and one of the biggest pain in the necks doing these jobs is scheduling the shutdown. Just getting someone to talk to at JCPL, almost impossible sometimes. Even when you call repeatedly, emails, they just go unanswered. Eventually, the electrical inspector actually forwarded me a number. I got right through. I was able to schedule this about 2 weeks out. I also had to call early or schedule the inspection early so that the inspector could be here to approve the work. Even though I'm just changing out a meter, there's really not a whole lot to look at. JCPL needs to have that approval by the permit in order to re-energize the service after the work is done. So it's approximately 7:45 on Wednesday morning here in Middletown. And I'm waiting for not only JCPL, but also for the inspector when I'm done. And that's the scope of the work that we're doing today. Wasn't exactly sure if I had the service coming in from the right or to the left of that meter. So I got a righty and a lefty meter here. Now these are specific for JCPL. They just have the fifth jaw. But my supplier, Good Friend Electric in Brick, actually they're in Tom's River, I think the main headquarters anyway. So I got one of each here, but they're going to stock whatever the utility is in that neighborhood where the supply house is. And here it's JCPL, which is of course a sister company of First Energy. And you want to understand, First Energy does not have a great reputation. So this is the right L. So this is a 200 amp 4T RL miscellaneous transfer switch. Underground meter, not transfer switch. All right, so the idea here is, as you can see, this is the line side of this meter, and both of these lugs are attached to the sockets right here. Where is my fifth jaw though? All right, so I thought I screwed up there and I didn't have a fifth jaw here, but I had one on the truck. Just had to look for it a little bit. Now I found it. This is our fifth jaw kit. Let's look at the directions here real quick, if there are any directions. Install the terminal kit in the meter block as shown, with the connector turned to the outside of the terminal arrangement. Do not install with the connector to the inside, as a meter cannot be installed properly. Connector number 12 wire provided to the ground terminal when a grounded meter terminal is desired. There you go. Fifth jaw kit right there. Give you this number 12 wire, and basically this is going to be a jump from here to here. And the one thing I don't like here is the way those conduits are set up underneath the meters. We got the line side coming in over here, and then the other 2-inch pipe like right beside it. So I need to make a 2-inch knockout here, not here, because it just won't work. But what I'm worried about, how's that? That's not so bad. It's pretty good, actually. I saw this recently on a job. I think it's the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru in Brielle that I stop out. But he put the DR number right on the meter enclosure, and now they know where that came from. So that's why I did that. DR number. This is the inside of the underground transformer in front of this house here. This is a 50 kVA transformer. I would have asked the linemen a few questions, but they wished not to be on the video. But they came over, they disconnected. There was two guys. They disconnected the power for me, and then I was able to work on the meter without working live. So once the power's off, obviously you want to check. I was a little worried about taking this meter cover off, thinking that the meter might fall out for some reason. I wound up using a step bit to get that cover off. It was a pain in the neck for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it wouldn't open, but the latch at the bottom was no longer there. So we're going to disconnect using a 1/2 inch socket here to disconnect our line side. The line side conductors are longer than the load side conductors were. So the load side conductors needed to be extended, and you'll see that in a little bit towards the end of the video. It's obviously very important to not damage the insulation on these conductors. I believe the insulation is RHW, and what you might not know is the line side, the utility side supply to the house here, those wires that you see, the conductors there, they're protected by the PVC when it emerges from the grade in the ground, but they are laid directly in the earth without any conduit back to that transformer. And it took me a little while to understand that, why they did that, but these conductors are made for in-ground burial use just like that. And the utility company, they have a different set of standards than a licensed electrician would. So they lay those in there, and then where it comes up, they push either a 2-inch or a 2.5 inch piece of PVC to protect the conductors. Then it comes right into the bottom of the meter here. So right there, what you saw me do was just lift up that PVC, because like I said, inside the ground there's no 90 on it. It's just probably going down maybe like a foot or two into the earth to protect the cables, and I was able to pull it up, and I needed to do that in order to get the lock nut and the bushing onto the 2-inch male adapter, which of course is very important, especially the lock nut. The plastic bushing is there to be put on before the conductors are installed. All right, but that's impossible to do in this particular situation. So the plastic bushing might not serve any purpose now, but we still put it on regardless because it is required. Let me know if you have any questions about that in the comments. We certainly want to make sure that the lock nut makes it mechanically snug to the enclosure. That's pretty important for doing work in a workmanlike manner. If you're at home wondering what size conductors are being used here, I believe from the utility side on the right hand side of your screen, those are 250 kc mil, I believe. And the 200 amp service that it provides on the load side, the conductors I'm working with here, those were 4/0 aluminum. Why they use the larger side 250s, I'm not sure. Transformers, less than 100 feet away, or maybe 100 feet away, so there's no voltage drop as far as I can see. I'm using stainless steel 3-inch, a 1/4 inch by 3-inch stainless steel lag screws to attach this meter to the house. And then of course I always put the duct seal behind the washer before driving it in to get a nice weatherproof seal on that hole where the lag screw goes in. You may be asking yourself, how did that old meter get so damaged? And what I think happened was, I believe when they updated the siding on this house, they probably removed the screws from the back of the meter to get the siding behind it, which is a good move in my opinion, instead of doing the J channel. However, when you secure it back to the house, you got to make sure that those holes that the screw goes through in the back of the enclosure are sealed up nice and tight. Otherwise, water's going to get in. And that's what I think happened. I think the water, when it rained, hit the house, came down the house, got into the back of the meter, and then landed on the bottom of the meter. And then over time, it rusted away the enclosure. That's just my theory. I can't prove that, but the screws that were being used were not made watertight in the enclosure here. And that's what I think happened. That's just my honest opinion. All right, so here I'm putting on some split bolt connectors. Okay, and this is on the load side. So this does not affect NEC section 230 Tech 46, which is actually the line side requirement that they be service rated. On this side, they're just lugs, and they're not required to be service rated as far as this connection goes. So I'm using 4/0 aluminum to 4/0 aluminum, and these will get tied up to the load side of the meter. This is 2-inch Scotch rubber tape. Rubber tape is good because you can expand it and it makes a nice solid connection on there, and then I'll go back over it with regular 33 vinyl black electrical tape. And all electrical tape is vinyl tape. So everybody calls it electrical tape, but it's just vinyl tape. That's all it is. It may be spring here in New Jersey, but on this day that I'm working, I'm probably standing in the hottest point in that whole neighborhood, where the sun's just beating down on the side of that vinyl siding on the side of the house. And I got the 2 JCPL guys in the shade watching me, along with the homeowner, and then eventually the electrical inspector showed up. They're all watching me work, and then I'm over there really sweating like you wouldn't believe. It was like 90 degrees in the morning, so not exactly a fun time. So I've always used my ratchet cutters to cut the larger conductors, you know, like for 200 amp services. But lately, I've been using the bandsaw to cut these conductors. It just seems like it's easier and it's less stress, especially on my wrists. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using a white piece of tape to actually keep those strands together, so when I put the butt splice onto it, it'll actually make a nice connection. So the strands don't get out of line, so they fit inside this butt splice. And the butt splice is rated for 4/0 aluminum, so it fits in there nice. But when you have conductors that have already been terminated and now they're taken out of that termination, the form of those conductors, they want to fall apart. So we want to make sure that they're all the same size and length. So we'll cut them to spec like that, and then we'll put the butt splice on there to extend it. The only other way to have avoided putting these butt splices in would have been to replace the conductors back into the main breaker panel. And the main breaker panel was over 30 years old. I really didn't want to do that because sometimes if you turn off that main breaker, you're not able to turn it back on, and sometimes those lugs are stuck. So we extended the circuit breakers. So this job turned out really well. It was done in a couple hours in the morning. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's almost over. I just want to say thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for liking this video, and I will see you on the next one. All right, so the inspector is here. We passed our inspection. Got my cutting card. JCPL is just wrapping up now. They re-energized the service. The gentleman, the lineman, put the meter in, and we're all energized and ready to turn everything back on. This job was a success. Let's go turn on the breakers, and then we'll be all set.